roughly, hopefully 30, 45 minutes. And then we will also have time for questions. Don't hesitate to write down questions in chat over here, just so we can speak afterwards about the topics you're really interested in, what was part of the presentation. So, Linda, you have to give me permission to share my screen.
Okay, I've just made you co-host. So.
Nice, now I can kick out people. So I will create my small audience panel over here. These remote presentations are back in last spring when this whole thing started. It was like no one was switching on the camera, and you have presentation for an hour and you have no clue. Am I alone over here, or there's somebody else out there? It's just that green dot over here. So now people, at least the COVID online etiquette has developed and people tend to switch on cameras. So let's go. Yeah, my name is Ernests Štāls. Those weird signs there, it can be pronounced also as Štāls. Probably comes from German part where Stahl is something like steel, like metal. Who knows? So who am I? I'm an entrepreneur. So I have built several companies on my own, building a company right now. So always trying to work with, when I'm building something myself, those usually are online tools, digital tools. That's where I understand everything, basically have experienced everything. I'm also a co-creator of Tech Hub Riga and TechChill, as Linda mentioned before. So Tech Hub Riga is a co-working space for IT companies, but in the context of Tech Hub, I have traveled around Latvia and met nearly 2,000 lifestyle businesses, people who are creating bakeries, countryside tourism attractions, all sorts of small businesses, and we have discussed the same topics I will touch on today. TechChill is a conference, so for the entrepreneurs and investors, happens once in a year in Riga. We gather around 2,000 people together. This year it will happen in May. This has given me an opportunity to see broader range of entrepreneurs from not only from Baltics, but from this part of the world, Scandinavia and Baltics. And since last year, I'm also part of the Superhero Capital, which is a venture capital firm. We invest in early stage startups ranging from 200 up to 1 million. So that's a different kind of range of companies I'm meeting. Those are really like super ambitious with a goal to conquer the world, to become next Googles and YouTubes and other. So this is my background, pretty wide range of contexts where I have met a lot of entrepreneurs. So today we are speaking about customer development. 70% of the companies fail. They basically fail. Sooner or later, they're gone. They're out of business. And there are 10 reasons why they fail. It's failure to deliver real value. Failure to connect with the target audience. Failure to optimize conversions, so people are not purchasing stuff. failure to create an effective sales funnel. So we have something, but we don't know how to sell it. Lack of authenticity and transparency. So that's more of when you have established company. Unable to compete against market leaders. So you haven't figured out or understood what are the other market players and how to be in this market. Inability to control expenses. Well, sometimes there are these ideas where we have a great idea, but it doesn't make sense mathematically. So it's just that we are spending more money than we are getting in. Sounds like a basics of entrepreneurship, but it happens more than you would have expected, that people actually create businesses where they pay money for the customers to use their product. Sounds funny, but it happens. Lack of strategic and effective leadership. So don't have a big vision. Failure to build and employ tribe, and failure to create a proper business systems. So these are the 10 reasons why companies fail throughout their life cycle. These are the ones which are really related to the inception of a company, the early stage, the very beginning of your entrepreneurial journeys. These are actually the failures, the points why companies fail, which are the causes are at the very beginning of the creation of a company. In short, not learning enough. By creating a company, someone hasn't learned something, hasn't understood something about something fundamental about the either market or the product. It's important to understand what is the difference between startup and established company. Established companies are the ones where what we see around, because, well, guess what? They are alive. They haven't gone out of business. You don't see startups that much, but it's really important to understand what are the differences. So as a startup or a young entrepreneur, you have an idea about the product, kind of feeling what could be my product. In established company, there's pretty clear product or service. We are producing this or providing this service. At a startup, you're like, I have this idea. At startup, you have an idea about the market. My product could be bought by these people, but there's no proof yet that they actually will buy. In established company, there's clear market segment. So these people are the ones we sell it, and we know them by their demographics, where they live, what are their habits. At the startup, there's lack of capital. So you don't have money, no money. Either you might have some savings, or you might got something from friends, family, or fools, but in general, you don't have much money. In established company, you have budgets because there's cash flow, money coming in, money coming out. So you have budget and you're operating with some sort of budget. At startup, you don't have time, which is pretty much related. You don't have money, because if you have infinite amount of money, you can also play forever with your business idea. In established company, you have planning periods. We are working and thinking about next 6 months or next quarter. At the startup, lack of team. You don't have team. Congratulations, you're a CEO and the janitor in the one head, the chief marketing officer, the human resource department, and all in one head. And if you're lucky, you can split it in 2 heads. with your co-founder. In established company, there are teams, there are departments, there are people with specific role. They know what they do most of the time. Sometimes they don't, but then you have exactly someone to blame. But at the startup, everything comes down to you. You are the one who in the end takes all the responsibility for the failures and successes. So what are the goals? At the startup, the goal is to get to the product market fit, to get to the point where you have some sort of product which is bought or consumed by some customer segment. In an established company, the goal is to optimize the process, because you know what is your product and what is the market you're selling for. The goal is to do it more efficiently. So this is the key, how the two companies differ. And one is becoming more efficient. In other, it's all about the learning. Yeah, it's all about the learning. In other words, before you shoot or hit something, you have to aim. You have to aim. In business terms, there are moments when you could have good execution and bad strategy. You are really good, but you're running in wrong direction. Like this guy. So for example, this guy, basically, he's the lead of the pack, the super guy who knows his craft. He's cycling super fast. He's a leader, but he misses the point. The point is not going fast. The point is to go in right direction. And so it's all about learning and knowing the strategy and the way where you're heading. So that brings us to the customer development. Customer development framework was established by Steve Blank when he had failed several times on his own, and he thought, well, there has to be a more scientific approach, more systematic approach. And so he started to disassemble the whole process of the company creation. And so he, for the early stage companies, he made the point that there's like search part and execution part, aiming and hitting. The search part consists of customer discovery and customer validation. So understanding who is your customer and making clear that he actually is your customer, not just like imaginary figure you would like to sell something. Sometimes over here, you go through the several iterations until you hit that you have hit the right customer with the right product. And then you can move to the execution part, where there's customer creation and company building. 10 and 90, 10% and 90%. These are the figures where usually if you would look up the content online, everyone is talking about how to sell. There's something existing and you just have to sell. But not that many people are actually talking about how to get to that thing which actually could be solved, and understanding what is the product and whom should I sell. Well, understanding the marketing, spending money on Facebook ads or internet advertising or billboards, that's the easy part. So today I will focus a lot on understanding your customer and the product, and just a bit about customer creation and company building. Because the hardest part is the very beginning to kick off your entrepreneurial journey. So customer discovery. Customer discovery is all about getting to know your potential customers and testing your product hypothesis. So what do you do early on? Get out of the building. This is the key phrase from Steve Blank: get out of the building. It's not about what do you think, it's about what people think. You are not your market. Sometimes we have this thinking that yeah, that would be so, it would be so great if there's this kind of product or this kind of solution. Well, guess what? You are alone. You are market segment of one, but it's really hard business when you want to sell to yourself because, well, you put money from one pocket in another, and that's not a business. So you want to go out and you want to get to understand more people. Am I alone, or there are other people who think similarly? Talk to the customers. Well, in this part of the world, we are builders. Baltic, Scandinavia, we are builders. We love to build, but we don't like to speak with people because people have emotions and people have problems and people are, so you don't want to go out. But to build the business, you have to go out and talk to the customers, go out and talk with potential customers. It's hard, it's hard. Understand value chain. So understand where your solution fits into the value chain of the customer. If your customer is a business, understand who are the players, what they do, where in a value chain you add value. A lot of times there are more than one step to the value what businesses are looking for, and it applies in the same way to the end customer. Like if you are selling to similar people like us, like individuals, it's always about the value chain. For example, creating an app where people plan their journey. You have to understand what parts of the journey planning are the essential ones. What are the key problems at which stage of the journey planning where your solution could help? And capture pain points. So these are the key things at this stage, what you should do. And don't fall for narrow problem statements. This actually is undervalued thing, but you should keep in mind. So what does it mean to fall for narrow problem statement? If I go and start to speak with you about the problem, I make you focus on this problem. Is this a problem? Yes, it is a problem. So what do you think about this problem? Well, it could be solved like this. Yes, exactly. But then if I broaden the spectrum, it appears that this is a tiny problem we're talking, because in your life, there are much more bigger problems. And if you would have to pay money or spend time, you won't spend time and money on this solving this problem because it's not that important. So you have to understand the bigger picture of your user or your client, and don't narrow down the problem statement. We will touch on some techniques how we could uncover these. Testing hypotheses. So you have an idea, you go and test it. So the goal over here is to try and figure out the product market fit. So the product market fit. There's a product, and there's a product has a value proposition. There's certain feature set, and there's a user experience. And there's the market where there's a target customer and unserved needs. And you have to find that fit where you have something what you have created, and there are customers who are looking for that. Sometimes you create a product, you go to the market, and market says, you're onto something, maybe you could change your product. And then you change your product, you come back, and there's a product market fit. Different times it's vice versa. You come with a product and you figure out, this is not going to be my market. I should look different kind of market segment. And over and over through iterations, you get to the market product fit. Great tool and exercise at this stage is value proposition canvas. Value proposition canvas. And value proposition canvas basically is an exercise where you are exploring your different kind of customer segments and looking what you have at hand, what kind of product you have, and you try to figure out where they meet. So this is an essential tool. And if you are building something right now, or you're thinking, this is a really good exercise where you could go through. Everything, so the main task over here is to understand for different kind of customers or segments, understand what is their problem, what are the goals and tasks, what they want to solve, and what is in the way. So simple questions. You are looking for answers on these questions. What doesn't work and how it could be fixed, potentially with your solution. Jobs to be done. Jobs to be done are a list of things what your customer wants to accomplish, achieve, either professionally or at work. So a couple examples. I need to increase the revenue. I have to increase the revenue for my company. I have to improve my customer experience. We're getting complaints that the customer experience is bad. We have bad service. Improve customer service. Live healthy. Live healthy. I need to improve my diet, for example. Or increase income. This is a typical where everyone wants to get richer. Yeah, I just want to be more wealthy, so I want to increase my income. So jobs to be done. What are the things what your customer wants to accomplish in particular context? When this is done practically, basically you have on the wall, you can have a sticky notes which you post on these kind of figures. Then we have pains. And pains are the problems encountered while trying to achieve goals. So we have jobs to be done, and then we have pains. Those are the problems which your customer or customer segment encounters while trying to achieve. Lack of opportunities. We want to get more, we want to increase our revenue, but we don't have opportunities. How could I do it? We want to improve the customer experience, but our product is evolving really slowly. I have so many ideas, but it's so slow. Poor quality of onboarding onboarding process. The new customers are coming in, but the process is so bad and it's so hard to manage. Those are my pains. Lack of time for working out. I want to be healthy, but I don't have time. I don't know where to start. I want to eat healthy, but I don't know where to get it. I just want to be more healthy, but I don't know where it is. If I want to increase my revenue, I don't know where to start with the finance. So these are the examples of pain points. What are the problems which are blocking me to achieve my jobs to be done? Gains or achievements which client or segment wants to achieve. So these are the gains which are the final result, the success, the great thing where he or she wants to. So someone has the mic on. I have the magic of possibility to mute people. There we go. So improve retention of a product. So if I'm a product director, I'm super happy if people keep on coming back and using my product. That's my gain. I have achieved the result of jobs to be done, what I wanted to achieve. Seamless customer onboarding. My customers are just flying in. There's nothing on the way. So that's super awesome that I have achieved that. Weight loss, half marathon finish line. So if I want to achieve more healthy life, my gain, my final result is that, yes, I managed to run the half marathon, or I have lost XYZ pounds. Financial freedom. Yes, I managed to work out my personal finances, and so that's my achievement. So these are the things how we can map out our potential customer segment, trying to understand what are the thinking behind your customer, what is their everyday challenges they want to overcome, and what are the drivers, what they want to achieve. Couple of questions you could ask to try to lure out this kind of information when you speak with a customer. What is the hardest part about? When you meet your customer, you try to figure out what is the hardest part about of course, about the topic you want to create the solution. So what is the hardest part when it comes to eating healthy? What is the hardest part when it comes to improving your personal finances? And then people go on, oh yeah, this is super hard, this is blah, blah, blah. You write down these answers. Tell about last time you encountered the problem. So, okay, when was the last time you encountered the problem? Oh, that was last summer, we were about to do this and that, and then I looked at my bank account and it was empty. It was empty. Was it just last year, or other time? No, actually it happened this spring because my car broke down and the account again was empty. I couldn't repair my car for a whole month when I got money, and then I borrowed something, and you're like, okay, borrowing money, month without the car. Why is it hard? So why is it hard? Well, I don't know. I actually don't know. The money comes in and then it flies away. I just don't understand where it goes. I cannot grasp. So you have all these questions to uncover how those people think and live. What you have done to solve it in past. So this is really important because people, as you may know, love to complain. They love to complain. That is bad, that doesn't work, that blah, blah, blah. But if they haven't tried to solve it, that means that it might not be as big problem as they state. So what have you done to solve it in past? Well, I have tried every app for the financial tracking there are. I have tried this budgeting app, this saving app, this one. They all are crap. Okay. What don't you love about existing solutions? It's not about what you hate, it's about what you don't love. What basically you're lurking out what is wrong. What is wrong? I think they ask too much questions for me, those apps. Those apps are just, it's just too time consuming. Okay. And then you ask these questions to 50 people about any topic, in any context you want to create a business, you will have pretty clear understanding about what people care for and what they think. Checking pricing. This is the top thing. Usually, I don't know how much I could ask from my potential clients or the customers. I cannot ask directly how much you're going to pay because then they are going to lie. There's a great exercise how to check pricing. And it's really important that you check pricing early because that will give you indication that it's actually makes sense business-wise. So how to understand the pricing? There's a one vendor, Westendorp pricing exercise. And basically it's that you don't ask directly, you ask kind of indirectly questions. At what price you would think product is a bargain, a great buy for the money? What could be good price? how do you feel on an emotional level? What kind of pricing? I recently did this kind of exercise for one product I'm working on, and I spoke with a couple dozen potential clients, and I used this method to ask what could be the pricing. And I was really surprised that some people said, well, if it would be more than $100 per month, that would be a lot. And then some people thought that, well, if it's 10,000 per year, then more than 10,000 per year, that might be hard to sell to the board. But if it's less than 10,000, then it's like, okay. And it's like, basically, we're talking about 10-time difference in the value. And this is not like how much you're going to pay, but it's to uncover the thinking. At what price would you begin to think product is getting expensive, but you still might consider it? Again, it's not a bad product, but I wouldn't pay more than this. This seems too outrageous expensive. So writing down, again, we write down everything because we are researching. At what price would you begin to think product is too expensive to consider? This is just through the roof. The pricing is over the top. It's not going to fly. Forget it. I'm not going to pay this much. At what price would you begin to think product is so inexpensive that you would question the quality and not consider it? We always tend to think about higher pricing, that it's going to be too expensive. But as you may have encountered when you go into the stores, sometimes it's like, come on, it cannot be that cheap. That must be a crap. It cannot be. It's most likely it's really bad product because it's so cheap. I'm not purchasing this one because I feel that it's too cheap. And you want to understand, when it comes to your product, what would be the pricing where it feels that it's too cheap? So this is the good exercise where when you're researching the pricing. So now we have spoken with the customer and we have researched the customer part, how they feel, what they think, how they work. Now let's look at our solution. What do I have and what it actually solves? So we have an idea about our product. Products and services I'm offering or plan to offer. So what are the solutions I'm planning? Business partner network. So I plan to have a business partner network where people can meet. Innovation management platform. So the platform where you can manage the process of innovation. Onboarding solution. So my solution helps companies to onboard the customers to start using the product faster. Healthy food tracking app. So I'm building an app where people can track how they consume healthy food, for example. Personal finance management app. So those could be my different kind of services in different kind of industries. And of course, you have to map out the really specific ones. So these are the services. Now, pain relievers. How you or your product reduce pain for the client. Help to find business partners faster. So we help to do it faster. Not picking up the phone book, but I have this platform where you can see things. Provide infrastructure for management. So there's an infrastructure, you don't have to build it on your own. Tools for employee onboarding. Time tracking and notifications for physical activities. You don't have to worry about this. These are the pain relievers for the customer. Information about healthy food availability nearby. So I don't have to look something up because I can find it over here. It's clear, it's over here. And then we have gain creators, gains you give to your customer. And usually they fall into categories which they are more like categories, but you could come up with different kind of more insightful definitions. So save money on development, save money on using something, save money on buying, outsourcing something, save money by employing a person. Usually gain creators are sometimes they fall in category where you save money either to the people or the business, and that's a clear gain. Give peace of mind. Give peace of mind. When I use your solution or your product, I have peace of mind. This is like an insurance business model. I'm paying 200 euros for something to have peace of mind. If something will happen, I know that it will be covered. Peace of mind if you're running some online solution that you are paying for backup, that nothing will be lost. How many times you, for example, have lost something, a document or something else, a digital item where you didn't save it and it was lost? Peace of mind, it never will happen again. Save time. A lot of time, it's not about the money, it's not about the peace of time, it's just I am fed up doing this. For example, I'm doing my own accountancy. And it's a bit time consuming. It takes me a couple hours. It's not that much, but then it's a couple hours. I'm doing something which I'm not a fan of. And then I'm struggling. Should I pay it or should I not pay for it? It could save me time. And actually, there are always people who have either more time or they have more money. And then there are people who are willing to just pay the money, or people who have time where they are willing to spend the time to solve the problem on their own. Improve social status. A lot of solutions in the end customer segment, when we sell something to the end customer like ourselves, is about the status improvement, like getting a more luxury car. It looks awesome. It doesn't go faster somewhere. It's maybe not as safe as some other cars, but it's super. It gives me social status. Living in particular part of the city, using particular app, being on particular app. If you are not in that app, if you are not using TikTok and you're not on TikTok, then you're not part of my social network. Social status, being part of something, representing something. Those are game creators which sometimes happen, and your product might be it. And this is these are the things which you could do at the customer discovery phase to better understand your customer, to uncover what kind of world they live in and what kind of product you should create. Then we can move on to the next part, which is customer validation. So we have learned a ton, but it's all on paper and it's nothing really like tangible yet. So we have to go and validate the customer, make it count that it's really they are in it. Customer validation is the process of making sure that you have understood your customers correctly and that you are developing proper corporate and product positioning, that you are building something what actually is needed by someone. Get product in the market. So you have to get something, gather feedback, build first MVP, and iterate. So these are the things, the key aspects over here. The picture is just lost it in mind. What was the name? It was mechanical Turk. It's a mechanical Turk. So the idea was that the guy, the Turk, he went to the market and he said, well, I have this magic box which can beat you in chess. And everyone is like, come on, that box cannot cheat me. That box cannot beat me in chess. And then you play and the box just moves the figures and it beats you, and you're like, come on, how it works? What's the magic? And it's like, it's magic box, but it's actually not magic. There's a small human inside the box. So it was all faking. And that's kind of the part in, that's the mindset in this part of the customer development. It's about, you have to fake it till you make it, and you have to catch that the customer really wants this kind of experience, this kind of solution. Minimal viable product. So what is minimal viable product? Minimal product. Well, no one needs this. No one needs minimal product. Sometimes it's just like something where it doesn't have any value yet. Viable product, on the other hand, is something where big companies can afford this. You don't have money and time. The full-blown product that developed after a couple of years, you don't have time and money for this. So minimum viable product is place where to start, the beginning, something where you can start to test your first ideas and get to the customer. So how to think about the minimal viable product? Well, sometimes we think in the terms of stages. First, I will build the wheel, then I will have chassis, then I will have the cover, and then I will put everything together and I will have a car. The problem with this approach is the time until you get to the end customer. It takes really long time for you to test, does anyone needs this kind of car? And then in the end, you get to the feedback, no one needs this. Then people tend to think that, okay, I want to build the car, but I will start with a small scooter, bicycle, motorcycle, and then I will get to the car. The problem with this approach is that the hypothesis you're testing at the scooter level, the learnings there, they don't apply to the car. Basically, at every single stage over here, you're learning different kind of things. So you don't learn about one consistent product. So the proper way how to think about your minimum viable product is, what is the minimum I should create to go to the market and gather the feedback? So we create this ugly or not beautiful looking car, and we go to the market, and the market says, it's a car, but why it doesn't have the trunk? So I have things I want to put in the trunk. Then you create that, and then market says, why it doesn't have the cover? And then you create that, and then why it's not that beautiful? And then you arrive to the end product, the car. At every single stage, you have learned about your customer, and you have iterated over until you reach the perfect product. One of the keys over here is get customer. The problem when you don't have customer is that you're playing ping pong with yourself, the intellectual ping pong. And so I have seen founders which are thinking a lot that my product is not ready yet, I'm not there yet, I have to change this and that, and they are not ready, they never are ready. But you have to go out and you have to show the customer. And there's the great quote from Reid Hoffman: if you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product you have launched too late. You have to be a bit ashamed of your first product version. It's your kid. It's your precious thing, and you are always you're covering it, and you're afraid to let it go like a kid. But your business idea, you have to just let it go and be smashed by the brutality of the market, and you will learn by that. So customer validation, sometimes you have to pivot. Things are not working out, or we can move on. We have reached the execution part, and we can move on. So when to pivot, when to change direction. So we figured out that the customer validation point, it actually doesn't work. It doesn't seem to work. No one needs this, even this thing, what I created. So when to change direction, it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out in any way. You're not getting any feedback. So that means that you're in totally wrong direction. You have to go back to the interviews and research part. There is no clear path to improve, change existing solution. So you have created something, you went out in the market, and you don't get anything. It doesn't work, and there's no clear path how to change and improve the product. That means that you have to go back to the customer discovery, talk again with the customers, understand them, create next version. Customer creation. Customer creation means reaching out to a wider base of customers after you discover and validate them. You have a clear understanding of what the people using your product are and where to look for them. At customer creation point, you have created something where you see that people actually want it. And now it's about going a bit out and talking on a wider scale to understand what is the bigger market over here. Figure out pricing. What exactly is my pricing? First market to attack. What is my first customer segment, where they are? How can I reach them? How big is the market segment? Start to work on marketing and sales. So now you can be more loud and proud about what you have built and go out. These are the key things over here. And these are the parts I told that 90% usually is focusing on this one, how to do marketing and sales, and not that vice versa. So now it's that time when you can do this. So we are at customer creation part. The next one is company building. Congratulations, you have arrived. Keep calm, we have arrived. Start to think about long-term development, turning a startup into a full-scale company. The focus shifts from research and discovery to long-term planning and mission development. So you have built your product, you have got out, and now it's time to start to optimize. And we are back at the beginning where we spoke that there's startup where things are not clear and established companies where things are clear. And this is the point where you have covered those unclear things and you can move forward. So over here, it's figuring out company structure, define mission, arrange departments, what are the different kind of parts of my company, and make it efficient. In the end, it's just making efficient. So this is the customer development 4 phases. And today I focused more on the first 2 because those are the key. Those are the ones where the most of the time people fail. In summary, aim before you hit. So don't be that super fast cyclist who just takes the wrong direction. It's better to walk in the right direction than to run in wrong direction. Research and learn. Iterate. Don't be afraid that you hit the wall, something doesn't work out. Iterate, move faster forward. Don't be afraid to fail. You're gonna fail, things won't turn out. Failures are hard, but failures are later on, they are the ones where you have gained the bigger the lesson, the lessons. And it just makes you smarter. One more thing, it's a journey. Enjoy it. When you build your own company, it's quite a journey, and you just have to enjoy it. It's roller coaster most of the time, ups and downs. Everything is awesome, everything is bad, but enjoy the ride. So thank you. I guess we have time for the questions now. I hope it wasn't too fast. Chat, 3 questions. 1 question. Will the presentation be available later? I guess so. The whole stuff is, Linda has recorded, so I guess it will be available.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, and my question is about pricing strategy. If possible, if you can go through your presentation and about that part, is always the most difficult part of the products when you want to make decision about pricing. I believe it's not easy. You told that you can ask the question not directly, maybe through different ways to understand exactly what is the question. But I believe I did this one before, and the challenge is that when people are speaking about something, it's something different, and when they want to pay about that product, it's a different experience for me. Do you have any another advice to be more obvious about this part?
Yeah, but if you have done those interviews, you know that the pricing is hard. It's just hard. And even this exercise, it's more of a, it's really hard to find any advice on how to figure out the pricing. So this is one of the rare ones. I understand what you talk about. It's that's one of the reasons why actually the pricing should be picked up early, and you should charge early as possible, because people talk the talk, but they not always walk the walk. And when it's reality check, when they have to open up the wallet, it's like it's real. Now it's real. Now, are you going to pay or not? Because everything before that, everything is just the talk. I like the product. Yeah, I could pay, but yeah, the pricing is hard. The pricing is hard. But that's why over the interviews, if you research a lot and you see that people, for example, I have tried every financial app on the App Store. That probably indicates that I'm crazy about that and I'm spending money. So by talking, you kind of understand. One of the things what I have discovered when speaking with businesses, it's asking directly, what's the budget? So what is the budget, what you're using? And with businesses, it's, first of all, people are not spending their money. So the money is not kind of their problem. Their problem is that they are responsible to solve certain problem. And they are like, okay, I have budget of 1,500. What can we do? And that has happened with me several times, that people are quite open about the budget, and be just direct. So what kind of budget are we talking about? What are you thinking in the company? How much you are spending per year on this one, and that sort of thing. All right. Any more questions?
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Do we have someone else with a question here in the chat? Ernest, can you see it?
How can I reach customers? What's my net worth? I haven't calculated that. How can I reach customers for homemade products? I think it depends on the products, but nowadays there's plenty of communities online. You can definitely go and Google, look on the Facebook. There are people who are into, well, that depends on the products, really. But I have spoken with plenty of people who are starting their bakeries at home or other food products, and they find their customers either in the farmer markets or in online communities. So those are the kind of two things.
Hello, I have a question. First of all, thanks for your presentation. And actually, I have such a question. For example, I have some idea. I would like to, I'm not a producer, but I would like to organize something, some different employees, like some different spheres working together, and I am the mediator, okay? And I am trying to find customers who will use this. For example, let's say some application. The customers who will use this application, a company who will offer something, and I would like, for example, to connect all this stuff. So what is the starting point where I have to start? So I have to first get queries or to understand.
So that would be like, what could be my first clients? Like, what could be those companies? What are the key people in those companies with whom I could talk? And then try to reach them. Go on LinkedIn and, for example, reach out to them. I'm working on this kind of solution. Would you be interested in talking, sharing your experience? If out of 20, no one answers, probably they don't care that much.
Okay, if I have some, let's say, audience, and some people, I found that some people are interested in this stuff. And so how I can be a reliable person? You mean like I'm going to the company and offer the things that it not exist currently, but how they believe me, and how they rely on me that I could organize this thing. I am not a company, I'm a physical person.
So you don't have solution, but that's the key. Of course you don't have solution. You're at the beginning of the journey. Over here, it's not about the solution, it's about your understanding of the problem. So if you speak with people, you learn, and they, if that problem is big enough, they are willing to speak with you, because that must be problem for them, big enough problem. And so there's no easy way, no magic there. You have to go and talk with them. That's the very first step we covered today.
Okay, yes, but like whenever you go and apply to somewhere and they want you to introduce about yourself, whether you say that I have ability, I can do this, I can do that, I can realize this one, they want to see facts, like whenever, for example, I want to give some examples. Students, okay, you have just graduated in your university. You're applying to some job, and they said, do you have a work experience? How I can have a work experience that I've just graduated, okay? But I might have abilities, just give me a chance. Oh no, we need some experienced people on this sphere, okay? So it is like sometimes circle and circle and
it
circle.
is the same.
Yeah.
It is the same, and then it's that's why there is no like one go-to solution which is taught in school, like how to start the business. It's usually that you have to figure it out, and there are like directions, like couple of directions like today I mentioned. And sometimes it involves, in your case, I would say it's go out and try to find who are the people who have this problem. In other times, it's start a movement, start a Facebook group or LinkedIn group where you gather the similar-minded people. Other times, it's just make some small solution and go and sell it in a farmer markets. So there is no right answer. It's, in your case, in my opinion, it's about finding the people who have the problem and just talk with them. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, hello. Can I ask the last question if we have still some minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yes, Linda said yes. So thank you so much for Ernest for your great presentation. I think it was really fundamental skills that we must all have when we go just through the business. I just want to ask you a question. So my background is more about digital marketing, but I'm also interested in finance background in the global organizations. So what do we face when we have some clients and they just want to make some revenue in their e-commerce, like an online buy and sell stuff? What we face is they just want exactly conversions with the payment that they made. Like we call this return of investment. They're just recalling it in the moment that they spend it. But what do we face in digital marketing that even if you make some advertisements, in the best way, it takes around even 3 months to make a sustainability investment. In the financial side and also in the digital marketing side, it's all the same.
Yeah.
So in this case, making SWOT analysis, giving them the analysis that Facebook and Google provides or anything doesn't help really them. And they are not trusting to the marketing parts. And so in these cases, what would be your suggestion that when you collect some clients in this point and get their trust and really let them understand about the statement that in the finance and marketing world, it's all like this, that minimally this amount of time needs for your sustainable sale. So do you also face with this problem when you make some business with the companies?
Yeah, I failed the company with this question.
Yeah.
So I created the company which basically we worked on digital market performance analytics. So as a digital marketer, you know that you can spend money there, money there, money there, money there, and then it's we get some customers, but what actually out of this works? And online marketers, they're yeah, we really want to understand this. And we figured out that they want to understand, but in reality, what they don't want to understand it.
Yeah.
They want I want to put money in here, and then I want to see that results increase. And what I want is I don't need to understand why it increased. Give me a report I can show to my boss, and that would be, you see, numbers are going back, and here's the company gave me this report. What we figured out was that we shouldn't have targeted the, let's say, dumb marketers, but we should have targeted with our product the business intelligence department. Because when the marketeer actually starts to think about the questions you think, like how things work and how long it's going to take, their brain is melting, and then they go to the business intelligence department and ask them, and they are the number crunchers, and they are calculating things and trying to understand. And in our case, it wasn't about selling the product, the result to the marketeers, but selling the data to the business intelligence people. It's the same product, but different kind of value proposition for different kind of audiences. So in your case, don't try to change them. You won't, that's educating market is really hard stuff.
Okay.
But try to, sometimes you have to fire the client. We have fired the client. I fired the client. Basically, it was we just see that they don't use our product. It was okay, forget about the latest invoice. Don't pay for it. Let's just cut it. We see that you don't use it. Mm-hmm. Because at some point in the company, someone will ask question, why we are paying for this? And everyone will finger point at you and say, they are not delivering, they are the bad ones, and we are overspending, and they are assholes, and blah, blah, blah. So we fired the client, and we basically were the first ones to have the move. So I hope I gave you some sort of answer.
Yeah, I have understand. Just basically the rule is if the client is not understanding about your product, your work, and etc., just don't work with it. And
most likely that you're
more valuable one.
Most likely you're targeting wrong market, and marketers are really good at telling stories, and also to themselves. We are really data driven. We love data. We want, but in reality, it's the same as we spoke with Said, that it's all about opening the wallet, and then it's real.
Yeah.
And
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
in our case, they opened the wallet, but they were not using our product. So
Yeah, I understand it. Yeah, thank you so much for your answer.
Do we have any other question? Maybe
any other last question?
Yeah, some comment or experience.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yes, and I want to thank everyone as well, and especially Ernests for today. This was our second workshop in the cycle of 10 lectures, and I'll see you all next Tuesday. So we had 2 Thursdays, but our next one is Tuesday, so we'll try 2 Tuesdays in a row just to spice it up a bit, and we will talk about business models. Yes, so it's the same time, same link, our next expert and our next topic. So thank you so much to everyone, and I think have a beautiful evening. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
If anyone has questions about the project, you may ask them to me, or you can send me an email about, I don't know, maybe like development or the stages. If you haven't heard much of it, then I'm here to answer your questions.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Linda,
Yes.
I wanted to ask, Rushan is also like, I sent her a link. She's also joining this course. Is
Yes.
it okay, or she should be registered? So what's the best option? What do you think?
No, sure. It's okay if she wants to. We just will give the certificate to everyone who is registered.
Ah, then better we register her as well. So since she's joining, so
Yes.
let's be registered.
You have the link for the registration, right?
Yes, I will ask her to register then.
Perfect.
And she attend also today presentation.
Yes, I saw her present. So great of you to join.
Yeah, thank you. Then keep in
Yes.
touch. Have a nice eve.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.